Hey, doing something different today. Saw a listing for a guitar on Kijiji here in Canada, which is kind of like the Craigslist in the USA. And I'm going to take a look at it. Let's see how it goes. Okay guys, the deal is done. The box is in the truck. And we are on our way home to do an opening. I'm home with the box. Since it's a private sale, it's not taped up. And what it is, it still has styrofoam all over my floor. What it is an EART EGLP 610 with oakum wood, satin finish all over it. Sun's very strong at the back of my house right now, which is where this is coming from. So the main things that I can see that I would go after on this would be a roller bridge and a blade switch instead of the box switch. I don't know if it's 2-wire or 4-wire. There's no push-pulls. It's one tone and one volume. But Phil McNight just put out a video a couple of days ago, and by the time you see this, it'll probably be several weeks, where he tested one of these, pulled out the pickups, and said, oh, they're trying to emulate Gibson 57s, and he said they did a pretty good job. It sounds not bad. I think it's Indian Laurel on the fretboard, and it's quite nice, even though the fellow I bought this from, Ted, shout out to Ted in town north of me here, about 30 kilometers, a really nice guy. We had some chatting. I did most of the talking, regaling some of my stuff, and told him about my website and said subscribe channel. So yeah, it's pretty nice, newish condition. It's as nice as an Amazon warehouse deal that says like new in box. Yes, satin finish. So we're going to take it down to the stairs to the bench. The action at the moment is extremely low. It's probably too low. I played on it a little bit over there, and there's some buzzing. I did not find any sharp frets or high frets. Sharp frets, you won't find any sharp frets, but any high frets at this low action, which is probably really lower than I would normally have it at. So I'm going to measure it to see what it is now. I'm sure this is lower than 4/64, probably even under 3/64 by a bit on the bass side, which is probably too low. That buzzes there. That one doesn't. I was playing with the tuners. It's out of tune again. But yeah, we'll put some D'Addario on there. I think it's a 9. Feels like that. So latest and greatest. And the reason why I went after this deal, beep, the reason why I went after this deal on our Kijiji was because at the moment in Canada on Amazon CA, this one is on special for $458 and change before tax, which is 13%. And the two other models that this comes in, the colors, which is like a gunmetal sparkly blue and some other kind of sparkly, which would be nice in this guitar. And I think the sparkly blue was looking pretty nice. $600, guys. $599.99, I think it is. Unbelievable. So I scooped this one up at $350, no tax, while I could. Help Ted out, and we get another one to see what we're going to do with it. How much does it need? Probably not much. Probably not much. It's got a nut that I don't think I have to change, tuners that I don't have to change. I think it's only going to be the blade switch, and depending on the wires on the on these pickups, I might put in a couple of push-pulls if they're splittable. But probably not much. We'll see. Next step. Okay, we're down in the basement. We've got EGLP 610 on the bench. I wanted to see what the Allen key was for the knobbies. You don't often get knobby type things with Allen keys in them, so I figured I'd figure out. So it's a 2, and the billeted aluminum reminds me a lot of the type of knobs we used to get, you know, back in the 70s, 80s, 60s even, on some you know, high-end electronics equipment, except they were much heavier back then. This is very light, but they're very reminiscent with the spinning top on them and everything. Yep. Okay, so I've kind of just given this a little bit of a tuning here, and this is the way I got it from Ted. I don't know if he did anything with the action. I just wanted to see what it is, because it is really, really low. Change glasses so I can see that close. One, two, three. It's sitting right on 3 on that side, and let's see what it is on the other side. It's right on 3, so it's 3 on both sides. It's a wee bit low, so what I'm going to do, because of that buzz, alright, I'm just going to bring that down a little bit on this side, just bring it up a little bit. Alright, is it up to 4? It is just a little bit above 3. Alright, I'm going to do this, which is going to put all the tuning out anyway, but not as much as if I detune all the strings. Bringing up the bass side also affected the treble side. And how are we doing? Let's see. Oh, 3.5. might have some fret end problems. I see a couple of them have little spaces under the ends that I can actually see under, and that might be accomplishable with a tap, although I found out on my telly EART that I did have to do some frets on the telly, and they filed and crowned it just like non-stainless steel frets. I remember saying the ends are absolutely perfectly round as is expected, but like I said, there's a couple of them that are actually sticking up above the fretboard. So we will worry about that afterwards. I want to plug it into the amp and see what it gives me. Now, the intonation is off on a couple of strings, but for now that's fine. I'm going to change this bridge anyway to a roller. Let's do the pickup height. I know that they're not set properly, so boom boom. Shape of this guitar and the way the neck is matched to the body, if I can get the angle in here that I want to show, is right there. The strings come at quite an angle this way, while the guitar pickup is kind of flat. So the pole pieces on this side are close to the strings, whereas down the other side they're much further away. It's a bit similar on this one, but less so. Something I just noticed on this model. Alright, plug-in time. On the Mustang with the 65 Deluxe. Okay, I've had to do some more stretching on these strings and tune. I'm finding that the gear ratio on these tuners are quite coarse. You don't need to move very far for it to jump quite a ways. Also, the intonation is off more than I thought, and it's not making everything sound just perfect. But here we are, full volume, full tone, 65 Deluxe Basic, my famous D chord. No distortion pedal. So bridge, eh? Neck. Warmer, but still pretty clear. I don't know how long Ted had this. I'm thinking the G string is a little flat, even though it's measuring the right frequency on the tuner. And that happens with strings. I've stretched it, and we'll see how that goes, but let's go in the middle. Bridge. Middle. No drop. A little bit up on the bridge, which means that it could probably come down a couple of hairs for balance. But yeah, it sounds good. I'm going to have to check out those high ends. But overall, it's looking pretty good. See if all the tuners are secure. You know how I get some that have the screws not done up? Well, oh, these are done up. Alrighty. We know whatever else is going to happen. It's going to be a looky-see inside. I think I like it, and we're going to see where we go with the stuff in there. All the stuff we know. Next segment. Oh my goodness, guys. You're not going to believe this, but they're 4-wire pickups. Woo! Ha ha! Yeah! Yeah! And they neatly tied everything up with a tie wrap. Good on them. It's like, you know, over there in China, like nobody ever heard of tie wraps. And you get the other wiring, you know, bird's nests that come on some of these other guitars made in different places in China. It's like nobody's ever heard of a tie wrap. Now I noticed that Phil McNight pointed this out as well, is that they have a wire going to ground, and it's screwed into the side of the wood, right up in there, here, and there's no shielding in it. So that's totally useless. I've seen one other guitar come in like that. So they are full-size pots. It is a box switch, as expected. I'm a little worried that a standard profile 3 way blade switch is going to give me that same problem I've had in the past, that it might be too tall here for it to be installed and not obstruct the cover, because that one is only, I'd say, 3/16 of an inch away from the bottom of the cover. That's something I'm going to have to do a test on. And if I can't get a standard Fender style blade switch in there, then I'm going to have to make do with the best of the best that I can get here. Their routing, and something's holding that really tight down there. I'm not sure what it is. It's holding. I didn't really need the tie wrap. Oh, I see. They've got the shields coming out from the wires for the pickups cut really short, and they've soldered them to the back of the pot, and therefore you can't pull them up very far. And that has the green wires going to the top of the switch here, and this box switch also has terminals which are bent over at 90 degrees and not straight up, which probably would make it touch the cover. I'm really worried about the switching issue. But with the 4-wire, that means hopefully I can get in push-pull pots to be able to split these things. Yeah. And like I mentioned to Ted, I may forego a tone pot for 2 volumes, because there is no way there's ever going to be another pot going in there. And again, I'm worried that here the height of a push-pull might be problematic, and the wire goes out to the jack right beside that. Probably could get it pushed around that way. Yeah. But it's clean. The cavity is absolutely clean. That's a plus on EART. These are all shielded wires except for this ground one, which I'll cut off, and the one going to the post on the bridge. That one is also a solid, but all the others are shielded to match the shielding on the pickup wires. But that's a plus. Yay! I can do something with that. I wanted to also check what gauge of strings came on it, and while I've got it down here, let's grab the caliper and give it a measure. Yeah, don't drop it like you normally do. Been dropping a lot of things lately. My mom used to tell me, wait till you get older, you'll find out. If she was alive, I'd be able to tell her, you were right, Mom. Like on so many things Mom was right about. 8s. Now, I measured, it says 8 in multiple places. Let's see what they got on the top. 38. 8 to 38. 8 to 10. 14. 22. 30. And 38. I thought 8s went to 32. You have to look that up. It's 9 to 42, 10 to 46, 8.5 to 36, and 8 to 32s. I'm going to have to look that up. Anyway, 8, 38. Turn that off. See you guys in the snap. Next segment, I have been able to persuade a few of the minor high ends over here and on the treble side to conform. Alright. Now, I noticed that, of course, I have a little issue with a couple of the, well, the treble side basically are just a little bit too high, all three of them in the nut. So we're going to persuade those to lower a little bit. We'll put on the eyes. I'm going to do this with the strings that are on first, so when I replace them, all this is good. Do as much as I can with the factory strings. Alright, we're just going to move those out of the way. Do the G string because it's further in. And I'm going to get like a 0.016, right? 16 thou. I want to see how it goes under. It doesn't need a lot. It's very, very close. Wrong button. A little bit more. There. We'll just move it out of that slot. What was it? 8, 10, 14, right? There they go. So I've got 12 and 16, I think. And that'll work for the next ones up as well. Yeah, that's what they used. We're just going to try to take that down a tiny little bit. I think that's a tusk. It's not cutting like a bone. It's smoother like a hard plastic, which is the way a tusk cuts. Or it's a very good plastic. It's really, really, it's got that, yeah, that's got to be a tusk. It's got to be a tusk. A little bit of back angle. Oh yes, I need my tuner. Because because I have to bring it up to pitch, and the other end that goes there to make sure it's going to be right. Oh, wrong one. Close enough. Close enough. Let's see. Yeah, these tusks, they're hard to cut. I can see that this nut is nicely glued in all along the front of the fretboard as well here. They didn't skimp on putting that one in here. I was trying to be cautious, but I think overly cautious is getting me nowhere fast. Okay, so you get the idea. Probably going to take me some time. I'll get back to you. Alrighty then, I have the nut finished. It is where I'd like it. And the action is good. I had to adjust the truss rod a little bit to get some under. It's in tune. And this will be the end of part 1. And in part 2 we'll start looking at modifying